It's the Monday after a Sunday. This is the aftergraft. Hey little trees, we're back on a Monday after a Sunday with a new series called My Story. So yesterday morning, we just talked a little bit about what the creation story means as a kind of origin story for who we are as a people. Why this is important for us is it reminds us of the kind of people we once were and people that we could be. If you didn't know, a couple weeks ago, Karen and I had our first child named Isaiah, and he is super handsome. See? So good looking. But one of the things that I was reminded of or had a chance to think about in his kind of coming and new birth is that the night before he showed up, Karen's parents came and hung out with us at the hospital, and we all sat around telling stories. And not just any kind of story, but origin stories of when we were born, how we were born, how long it took, what it looked like. And it's in these stories, these beginnings, these first things, these origins, that I got reminded and then began to think about how we ought to be reminded of how we once were. The Genesis 1 and 2 story that leads into ultimately Genesis 3 reminds us that God's good work was to create a garden that God would inhabit with man and woman and animals and trees and plants and wildlife in a happy kind of community. But in that community, man and woman took the first opportunity to break the one rule of the community. And it's that kind of return to an origin thinking of who we are, that God creates, God makes, we inhabit, but more often than not, when given the chance, we will always break or find a way to break or rationalize breaking the one rule of the community, the one thing that is so important to uphold the order and structure of the God-given, God-created community. And so it is for this first week of thinking about my story, your story, that I would ask you to be reminded of where you came from. And in God's story, as we are folded in, that our beginnings, our origins are intimately tied with God's creation, God's providence, and our ultimate or untimely choices to choose otherwise than what God hath created. So this week, be praying about what God has made first. And in this next Sunday coming up, we're going to talk about the way in which God changes everything.